Chelsea and Manchester City through to the next round of the FA Cup. Newcastle started brightly. City ended magnificently. Wrexham, Chelsea, what a game. Another fantastic FA Cup display. We saw Mansfield, Arsenal earlier on today. I feel that Wrexham, Chelsea was equally as good. Rugged, great football at times, some brilliant goals, some good, some correct decisions, but some painful decisions from a Wrexham perspective. But Chelsea getting themselves through to the next round. And so far, we've seen Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and now Man City all make it through to the next round. And it does feel like we're gearing up for what could be a mammoth quarterfinal setting, maybe a mammoth semi-final setting as well, with a lot of the big teams making it through. Do us a favor, please, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you have... Oh, Blue Viper's back. We didn't see you midweek, Blue Viper. I was worried that something was wrong with you, but here you are. Here you are. The quarterfinal draw is going to be on Monday, so there'll be no draw tonight. That will be on Monday that takes place. So, yeah, you can sit back and relax until that point. But look, lots to go through this evening, lots to talk about. We were going to be live after the Chelsea game, but of course, the scheduling is so bad, and it went into extra time. By the time the game finished, we were already nearly 40 minutes into the Newcastle game, and I can't do a match reaction that deep into a game because you have got to watch it. And if I'd have been doing a match reaction, I wouldn't have seen all the quality from Man City. So it would have been very hard to talk about tonight. Someone says wrong score in the title. Oh, sorry. My apologies. That's done. That's up. That's updated. Both are updated. Apologies. That should be sorted now. But yeah, look, I want to start with Chelsea because that was the first of the two games. And look, I know there's going to be a lot of saltiness towards Chelsea. I know a lot of people are going to say Chelsea were lucky. I know a lot of people are going to say the red card helped Chelsea, the VAR offside goal. Look, let's get to those two decisions. I thought it was a red card. The only sort of pushback I think Wrexham can have is that he only glanced him, and the PGMOL and referees this season have said those glancing type of blows are not red cards. But I think the velocity the player comes in at, and I think that plays in part more so than the glancing blow. He just goes through Garnacho, and those kind of tackles can't be allowed. I wanted Wrexham to win. Of course I did. I wanted to see a bit of a giant kill in. I'd love to have seen Chelsea go out. But I'm not going to sit here and lie about that decision. It was a red card. And the offside goal, it's an offside goal. It's an offside goal. And at the end of the day, for me, as much as I would have loved to have seen a giant kill in, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit. I'm not going to sit here and lie about what I thought that decision was. Goldbridge rage quit when the red card was given. Well, I think it's a red card. The maddest part is I might be wrong with this with Mark, but I'm swear he said that Delot was lucky that he didn't get sent off against City. And Delot didn't go in with the same velocity because Delot stopped his run and he clipped him. So if Delot was lucky to not get a red, I don't see how this one isn't a red card. More velocity, catches him high, and there's far more intensity in the challenge. He goes through the player. And had he got more of a contact, that's the kind of tackle that can break a leg. The one thing with Delot, because he stops his run and stops all the force going forward, even with stronger contact, you're probably not going to break a leg if you played football. So I'm a little surprised people were so enraged by it. It's a red card for me. It's dangerous. It is reckless. And he endangered the safety of Garnacho. He hurt him as well. So, yeah, for me, I think it was a red card. And I feel that the offside goal was an offside goal. I don't really get why people are sort of going in, oh, Chelsea got lucky that it was a red card. Well, they didn't get lucky it was a red card. The Wrexham player, was it Dobson, was stupid for making that tackle. Stop the man, yes, but don't go in with your studs up with that kind of pace. And if you actually watch his foul versus the Delot foul, watch it. Delot runs up, stops the majority of his force, the leg comes out, clips the knee. This tackle, the force went completely through Garnacho, through him. And it isn't always the contact when there's that much velocity in a tackle. It's about what could have happened if they caught them. And if they just book him or allow challenges like that to go unpunished, you risk the safety of other players. So I feel there's a bit of saltiness going towards Chelsea, if I'm being honest, in relation to that. Were they lucky? Look, I think this is a disgusting narrative. It's a disrespectful and disgusting narrative to the FA Cup. The FA Cup, as a 100-plus year tradition of throwing up these types of affairs, where a team lower down the league, but more so a lower league, a championship team, a League One team, a League Two team, they can sometimes have a great day individually. They also nowadays come up against teams that have rotated quite heavily, and Chelsea are right to rotate. Some people say it's disrespectful towards the FA Cup. It isn't, because Chelsea are trying to make it into the top four, trying to win the Champions League, and trying to win the FA Cup. Rotation has to take place. You cannot not rotate. Otherwise, what's the point of having a squad where you just wait for people to be injured? It doesn't make sense to do that. So these types of affairs happen where lower level teams play above their level, have great games. Maybe you rotate and have a bit of an off game, and they give you a scare. The idea that you're then lucky to get through that, I personally find it disrespectful to the team that you're playing. I find it to be very dismissive, almost as if to say Wrexham weren't the reason that Chelsea were perceived to have been playing poorly, and they were. Wrexham defended amazingly. They were rugged. They moved the ball well. You can completely and utterly see why they are on course to become a Premier League team. You can see it. So I'm not, as I said already, I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Wrexham the same as I didn't respect Mansfield earlier on today, the same as I didn't respect Macclesfield when they knocked out Crystal Palace. Yes, there's an element of humbling when teams of that level get one over on you or beat you. But I'm not just going to go Chelsea were lucky, because Chelsea had to fight through that. They had to work through it. They had to persevere with a heavily rotated team, a lot of their weaker players in the side, and they got the job done still. They got the job done. And I think an element of pride should be taken out of that. I think Dio said this earlier on today. And I do think we're moving into this I call it the Andrew Tate effect. It's the manosphere view of the world. I think we should win 5-0. And if we don't win 5-0 today, no matter what the context is, it's shit. And I think if you start looking at football through that lens, you're going to end up not enjoying it. Because as a kid, no one spoke like that. As a young adult, nobody spoke like that. Up until 5 years ago, nobody with a brain spoke like that about football. Why has it developed in the last 5 years? I'm just telling you now. I wouldn't be embarrassed today as a Chelsea fan. I'd be very, very happy to be through to the next round of the FA Cup, still in with a chance of winning major trophies this year. That is the most important thing. And they did, as I say, Chelsea, they persevered, they got through it, and they got the job done. Did I feel for Wrexham? Absolutely. But it was offside, and it was a red card. The rules were followed, and I would be a hypocrite. And this is why I missed the consistency. It's going to become our new brand, I think. What do I always talk about? It's not about whether I like a rule or not. I don't really care if you think the rule should exist. Were the rules implemented properly? The answer here is yes. Therefore, I cannot complain. My complaint towards the PGMOL is when they break protocol. You see how we saw that up there in against Nottingham Forest in the week when Rodri had the shot and got caught afterwards. Another one of those not given as a penalty. Isak's leg got broke, no retrospective. Foden earlier on in the season against Newcastle, caught after the fact. Nothing happened. Maguire concedes a penalty. I call it out because I go, hang on, how comes none of them after the shot are fouls, but Maguire's is? Still to this day, nobody's been able to answer it. That's the inconsistency I call out. Not whether I like a rule or not. That's irrelevant to me. It's the consistency. Fuck Deadpool. On to the next round. Listen, I wanted them to win. But you know what? It wasn't even really about Chelsea. I just like seeing underdogs win in the cup games. Always been my way. Always will be. But fair play to Chelsea for getting the job done. Before I jump into our callers, I want to speak a little on City as well, because I felt tonight was a weird game because I still had I had both games on at the same time. Because I will say I was talking to Kwess earlier on tonight, and the FA Cup needs a lot to make it bigger again and better again and everything else. Putting a game on at 8 o'clock at night it's weird when it's Saturday evening. You had opportunities to... Arsenal played at 12:15. You then had an opportunity to put a game on at 4 o'clock, right? Instead, they did it at 5:45 and then 8 o'clock. So it's the whole evening taken up. So some families, if you're a Chelsea person, if you're a City fan, Newcastle, you know the missus is going to say you can watch one of them, not both of them, even though you and the kids might want to watch the FA Cup. So bad planning. Because a bit earlier in the day, you might get away with it, right? But more importantly, why the fuck would they ever overlap the games? They're trying to get more eyes on the FA Cup, yet they schedule them so the games are overlapping. Moronic. But the game was a strange one because it started off really poorly for Man City, and Newcastle were on fire. They didn't have a lot of the ball, but they were counter-attacking. They looked so dangerous and could have been 2 or 3-0 up in my opinion in the game in that first 20 minutes. But then they scored the goal and their entire world changed. They scored the goal and it was almost, I don't know whether it was City's intensity increased, Newcastle got complacent, or a combination of the two, but the game flipped on its head. City suddenly started passing the ball quickly. The little triangles and the little patterns were amazing. Doku, fantastic. Savinho, out of this world. His goal was sublime. I don't know if he meant it, if it was bad control, but I don't care. It was fantastic. And then in the second half, Mamouche was just sublime to watch. His goals were well taken. And I will say, the overall performance from Man City, especially in that second half, the best I've seen them play all season. Any comp, any game, anywhere, best they've been all season. Not just because they had 9 shots on goal, 4 on target, 3 big chances, scored 2 goals, dominated the ball. They were so sound defensively. And I have been highly critical of City in the way we saw them in the first 20, 25 minutes. Leaking opportunities. They were leaking like a broken fridge. But then something clicked and they were able to handle Newcastle with ease. And you go into the second half, Newcastle had 3 shots and 1 on target. No big chances created, and they're chasing the game at home in the FA Cup. And you have to congratulate and praise Manchester City for that. Because again, you're an inconsistent moron. You're an inconsistent moron if you criticize how easy they are to create chances against and then see a massive improvement for 60 minutes of a game, 70 minutes of a game, and then not praise it. Newcastle couldn't pass through their lines. Every ball they knocked into the channel, they got to first. It was like watching Neo at the end of The Matrix, where he just realized he was the one and he didn't even have to look and he could block all the punches from the agents. He could block the bullets. It was just like watching the very best version of City we've seen under Pep. In that 70-minute period, from basically the minute Barnes scored until the final whistle, it might even be the best I've seen City look in 2 seasons, this season and last season. Controlled the game, created the chances, didn't concede anything. In fact, it made it boring. And I'm complimenting you when I say that. So well done to Manchester City for that second half performance. I thought it was excellent. Truly, truly excellent. I really, really did. So big shout out to you. Big shout out to you. Absolutely fantastic. Annoyed you went through, but I've got Terry Glazing City. I mean, people won't care that I've praised Chelsea and defended them today. They won't care that I've praised City today. I've done that forever when they've been good and when they've deserved it. And no one ever cares. It's only one team that if I praise, people get angry. Again, It's what I realize. It's not my problem. It's a them problem thing. You know, it's just the way I am, Mr. Consistency. I like saying that because I know that triggers all the right people as well. You're not consistent. Do you know what I got accused of once? Somebody did a stream with me and tried to call me a hypocrite. Oh my God. Still to this day, it's one of the funniest debates I've ever had. Their view of me being a hypocrite was me not agreeing with their opinions. So it was just like, well, Terry, I think Newcastle are better than Sunderland. I agree with you. Yeah, but that makes you a hypocrite. Why? Because you once upon a time said that Middlesbrough were better than Sunderland. What's that got to do with anything? I didn't agree with that opinion, so therefore you're a hypocrite. And we basically got to the crux of the argument, and it was because I didn't agree with their opinion, I was a hypocrite. I'm like, that's not what hypocrite means. I love people like that. Terry Glazing City, let me refresh my stream. This isn't real. Listen, Man City have had more praise on the Football Terrace than any other club in the history of this channel. I have not called a single other team in the last 10 years one of the greatest European sides of all time. Not one. Chelsea have been defended in the last 10 years more than any other club on this channel. The problem is, if you're only watching it in the last 6 months, the last year, it's a slapshot. You got to go back and watch the full body of work. And my view on most things hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed in that time is what teams are good and which teams are bad. Which teams are challenging for the leagues, which teams are not challenging for the leagues. Anyway. I love how you say cap, stop the cap. So are you telling me, I just want to, City fans, and this is remember when you say things, you're representing your club. Are you telling me that saying the peak City team that done the treble is one of the greatest European sides of all time, are you telling me that is not bigger praise than saying Arsenal scare me because they're leaving my club in the mud and I'm worried they might become title contenders? Which would you rather your club be? Title contenders, leaving Man United in the mud, therefore Terry Flewis is a bit scared of them? Or the team, if you obviously care about my opinion, that's why you're here, or the team that I think has become one of the greatest European sides of all time? Do you see how your Arsenal derangement syndrome makes you warped? I'd rather Terry was scared of us than think we're one of the greatest teams ever. That's very strange. Very, very strange indeed. Right, I'm bringing Kwess on. We're going to get back to talking football other than chatting to these strange trolls. But Terry, nobody respects the treble-winning season, but I did. So this is the thing you've got to learn to do, right? And by the way, I know I'm right as saying, but no one respects it. That isn't a challenge for me, though. I'll give you an example. The other day, there was a foul that I said wasn't a penalty, and a lot of Arsenal fans are going, "Yeah, but everybody." No, it was a foul that I thought was a penalty. I don't remember the game. And I tweeted about it, and all these gooners were in my replies going, "Terry, but when this happened to us, people were saying it wasn't a penalty." And my response was the same to them as I'm going to say to you now. But I didn't say that. So don't at me. I often go in on Gary Neville quite a bit. And I remember when he was criticizing a player, and everyone was having a go at Gary Neville, going, "Gary, but when Harry Kane did this, loads of journalists weren't criticizing him." But Gary Neville had, because I don't at Gary Neville because other journalists are turncoats and duplicitous. At them. Don't at me. I didn't say the treble meant nothing. I said it was one of the greatest achievements in European football history. So don't at me for something another person says on a shit channel. Go chat to them on a shit YouTube channel. Don't come chat to me about something I didn't say. Do you know how weird that is? It's like going to McDonald's and complaining about an order you made at Burger King. You wouldn't do it, would you? Think about these things. But people do this a lot in debates. How many? Kwess will know this. Look at his face while he's backstage. The amount of times Kwess gets challenged for things that Don said. The fuck's it got to do with Kwess? Just because he wears just because he's got a Chelsea badge on. Kel's backstage. Imagine holding Kel to account for things Hamza says. Imagine. I just imagine that. I don't work that way anyway in life. I might ask them about those opinions to get their take on it. But again, there is a distinction there. There is a contrast, a fundamental difference. You have to be a certain type of low IQ amoeba to do what I call groupthink. And what I mean by that is, you're English, Terry. You're no different to the English people I hate. That's strange. You're a United fan. You're the same as the United fans I hate. That's weird. That kind of behavior. And take that view to the nth degree. And when I say English, I mean as an England fan. Take that to the nth degree. Imagine judging all people by the actions of some idiots that look, sound, feel, support, or listen to the same music as those people. Weird people. You're as bad as those freaks, in my opinion. Just putting that out there. Anyway, we're moving on. We're talking football. Terry, I recommend a whiskey, my son. Listen, Blue Viper, I can take a bit of banter, but you disappear every time your team drops points. You're a bitch. That's what you are. Blue Viper. So you name yourself after a snake, a venomous, dangerous snake. What you are looks a little bit like a snake, but it's a worm. You're a worm because you're not here when your team loses. You sit in the chat when Man United drop points, when Arsenal drop points, when Liverpool drop points, when Chelsea drop points. And you're always there running up the mouth. I'm a viper. But you're not. You're a worm. Because as soon as the going gets tough, you piss off. That's all you are. You're a worm, Blue Viper. Do better. Do better. Blue Viper. Blue Worm is his new name now. Blue Worm. We're not referred to him as Blue Viper. He's Blue Worm. We've got Maradon the Moron, and we've now got Blue Worm. That's who we got here. Remember Earthworm Jim? Blue Earthworm Jim. That's what we got here. Stop bullying your viewers. See, again, if you think that's bullying, then you need to get off the internet and make friends. I can't help your insecurities, my friend. It's not bullying. It's trolling. Like when you remember in Harry Potter when they killed the troll in the first book, no one called that murder, did they? Slaughtering a troll is not bullying. It's part of the course. I call it a service. Service to humanity. I'm going to find some salt to put on that worm. That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, I know the community loves me, and I'm just joking back. That's why they're here. Blue Viper and Maradon the Moron. We worked this out before on a show. Of the last 8 years they've been watching me, they have spent over 2 years watching Football Terrace content of their lives. Got to respect that. 2 years of their life watching me. It's amazing. Anyway, I was going to do individual calls. I'm not now. I'm bringing everyone out at the same time. Do you know why? I fucking can. It's my channel. No, I'm only messing. Right? I'm winding everyone up. But I am bringing everyone out together. I'm not messing about that. That's truth. Kwess is here. Kel's here. Toon Tactics is here with me. Welcome, everybody. Congratulations today. We all won in the FA Cup. I didn't lose. Oh, sorry. No, Phil didn't. Phil went out. Shit. Sorry.
I thought it was about yourself. I was like, what?
I was about to say, Terry, you've been out of this for a long time.
Well, I didn't go out today. Like that's the facts here, right? We're talking facts. We've got Jesse with us as well. Welcome back. I'm going to go to you first, Kwess, because obviously you guys played a little while ago. We were going to go live earlier, but of course we couldn't because the FA decided to overlap the games in their fucking wisdom, which was crazy. And what's mad? Unless you have two TVs, people would have had to have switched off watching your game to watch it. It's mad. It's mad they did that. But a really important win for you today, mate. I can't hear you, bro. Your sound ain't coming through.
You're on mute.
Yo, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Production value, my bad. Yo. Yeah. No, do you know what? What I'm glad you said, early doors, because I think you're speaking sense and that's needed, is it's the FA Cup. And I think if you've just started like watching a Premier League team, you might think like, oh, this is diabolical that a Premier League team is being taken into extra time by a championship team. And might I add, like a playoff chasing championship team, right? Who are a great squad, who's managed by a great manager, who, by the way, has beat Mourinho before when he was Chelsea manager. I think it was 2015. I think he was with Bradford City. And he beat us 4-2 FA Cup. We had like Drogba on the pitch, Azpilicueta. It was diabolical. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. It was diabolical. So for me, it was just like, it's the FA Cup. Like, could we have done better? Should we have done better? Could we? Yes. Should we? It's 9 rotations in the FA Cup. You've got young players all over the pitch. You've brought Sanchez back in. If we'd have lost, I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't have been happy, but I wouldn't have been surprised. But I actually commend the boys because after 9 rotations, like you can't have any continuity in your squad in terms of style of play, because even if you're training together, you're not playing with each other consistently. But I thought they did really well to keep going. That second goal, when they hit back quick, I thought, yeah, fair play to these lads. Like, they're locked in. And I'll be so honest with you, had it have not been for Pedro Neto today, we might have had some consistent and cohesion football. But I don't know, he was on a mission today to just ruin everything. And you know me, obviously I've been slaughtered for time now for saying about Garnacho. I know he was on a little poor run for a while, but I kept saying since the summer, not that he was the best signing we could have made, but the priority signing, because our left wing is diabolical. But actually today, again, he's shown his quality, and under Rafinha, I think just like João Pedro, he's going to be one that probably makes a resurgence and shows consistent quality throughout the season. So yeah, good result. In the end, it's the FA Cup. We're through to the next round. You got to take it. You want to be in there with the biggest names, biggest teams. So yeah, I'm relieved and also happy because it would have been dark if we'd lost. My gosh. Yeah.
No, I agree. I do agree. And as I said earlier, and I'll allude to it again, I think people are getting a bit... I'm not going to plagiarize. It was Dyer that said it. And maybe I've thought about it before, but maybe not articulated the way he did. But I think people are just starting to set really unrealistic expectations in football now. The football needs to be perfect all the time, or I ain't happy. We need to win every game by this margin, or it's a bad performance. We discount who we're playing, the competition, the context, the amount of trophies that you're in and challenging for, the up and down nature of the game. We forget, because I don't know why we forget, but if you go back and watch an anthology, or that's what we used to call them when we used to get the VCRs back in the day, but watch a really good season back. You actually go back and watch the games, the amount of times some of our best teams in our history got through some League Cup games, some FA Cup games, some Premier League games stinky. Strangely, we're sort of forgetting that now in this era. And I find it really disconcerting for football because it means people are just going to... And maybe it's by design, so that everybody stays angry and everybody's ranting, and that's the way some people want football content and punditry to be. But I actually find I'm finding it boring. The other night when Jamie O'Hara was losing his mind with Cundy the other night, it's funny because it's a real meltdown because of a really bad situation. What I'm getting bored of is people that just almost pretending to be angry all the time. It's weird to me. I don't know. It's weird.
No, I agree with you. I agree. Do you know what? The only other sort of industry I can compare this to, is like video games. So like you get games like Call of Duty, right? When it drops, everyone loves it. Then they do an update and something goes wrong for all of the people that were benefiting from the update. And all of a sudden you get this wave of like, this game is rubbish. The developers don't know what they're doing. Scrap the game, start again. And then you have all your content creators and live streamers going, this game doesn't work. It's terrible. It's rubbish. For me, I just think it's like, it's people that just will never be content with things not going their way. And so they stress over the little things all the time, not forgetting like football, you have no like divine right to be the best team at all times. You have to work for that. That's why I can't hate on Arsenal no more. Like early in the season, I was like, nah, I have to stick it to them because this is mad. They can't have all this respect for doing nothing. But as I see it play, listen, how can you argue with somebody that's consistently the best? They are proving it week in, week out. So you can't argue it. So I think it's the same thing with this football thing now. People are just becoming discontented with it because ultimately, if it's not going their way, it doesn't fit their narrative, like you said, then let me just trash it. like online. Like I was watching Matisse earlier, and he was talking about how Rosinha got the lineup wrong, and it's diabolical that he even let it go to extra. And I just thought, bro, you're one of the biggest Chelsea creators, bro, and here you are negative again after a loss, bro. If you can't be positive, how do you expect any of the rest of the fan base to even follow suit, bro? Because you represent a large bit online. Like, I just think it's diabolical that football fans have to take this into account. You have to start enjoying football for what it is. It's a sport. It's entertainment. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. It is what it is. It is what it is, man.
I do agree. I do agree with you on a large scale, and I do think there's a place for criticism, but I also think it's the like Real Madrid are always the team I use as an example. I aspire for my team to be like Real Madrid. It's impossible in the Premier League. Over a 20, 30, 40-year period, impossible. Yeah. Why? Because it's not a two-horse race league. All the money is given to two teams in England. So, for instance, if the rules change tomorrow and only Man United and Man City got 80% of the money that comes into the Premier League, then I think it would be absolutely acceptable for Man City and Man United fans to act like Barca and Real Madrid fans do and go, well, it should only ever really be us two in the title race. Right. And we've got all this money compared to our peers. When you're in a league where there's 5, 6, 7, 8 other teams that can spend similar to you, that have money, that have billionaire owners, even contemplating having that expectation, City fans are going to lose Pep at some point. The idea of the next manager coming in, having the pressure on him to, I won't be happy unless we repeat what Pep did. What, you mean the guy you say is the greatest manager ever in 140 years? It is ill-conceived and stupidity to think that. However, I think a lot of these content creators know that, and the issue is they can't say it because then there isn't as many reasons for them to be angry and rant. And a lot of these TikTokers know that if I rant, people tune in and watch, and then people go, I'm going to follow suit. I want to be a TikToker, so I have to rant because they get views ranting. And there's and sometimes you do rant. I do it. But there are other times where I look at it. I saw Man United fans losing it this week. Went one loss in 10 games. We're third in the league when most of you predicted us. And you're burning. And you want to burn everything down. I just sit there and think to myself, that's a weird way to behave. So I do agree with you. I don't think Chelsea fans should be sitting there like going, oh, I'm over the moon with everything that happened tonight. Yeah. But losing their minds, it's the FA Cup. These things happen. You persevered. I think it was pretty decent. Kel, obviously a big performance from you guys tonight. You know, the opportunity to bounce back after the disappointment of the Forest game, and you did. You started slowly. Newcastle looked great, but I made this point earlier, and I want to ask it as a bit of a question. I felt that was arguably, from the 20th minute to the end of the game, one of the best City performances I've seen this season and last season. It was controlled. You didn't concede any chances, scored 3 goals. You looked brilliant.
Yeah, it didn't look so good to start the game out. Like, Newcastle came in with a high press, and they looked like they really wanted it, and they scored that first goal. You know, great finish from Harvey Barnes. But yeah, City just kind of I don't know what exactly did it, but they figured it out. I mean, it was a very heavily rotated team. There was only one player from that game, from that starting 11 that started at Forest. So it was a brand new team. And maybe they just needed time to figure out what they were doing. And then when they figured it out, it was like, boom. It felt like a throwback. I haven't seen a performance like that kind of control probably in 2 seasons. I don't remember seeing that at all last season, like, because it was just such a mess. But I love it, man. Omar Marmoush hates Newcastle United. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know if they stole his woman or something, but 50% of the goals he scored at Manchester City have been against Newcastle, which I thought was crazy. And Savinho, I think I want to shout out Savinho because that guy takes a lot of crap from our fan base. Everybody wants him sold, especially after that Spurs, like the rumors from last summer where it sounded like Spurs wanted to buy him, and I don't think it actually went anywhere, but our fan base has wanted him out. And I thought he had a great game. He looked like, even when we were struggling in that first 20 minutes, he looked like a player who had something to prove. And I thought he did very well. And I also wanted to shout out Nico Gonzalez because I've been a big backer of him. He hasn't played a lot lately, and I keep crying out for it because, I love Rodri, obviously, but Rodri does need a little rotation here and there. You know, he's coming off of a major injury, and Nico G was not getting any minutes. And so he grew into the game, and that probably helped settle the team down because we all know the 6 is the most important position in a Pep team. So, yeah, I'm happy. Some big players got some rotation that they needed. Like Holland wasn't injured at all. He was just rotating. You can read that from the journalist. So he got a rest. Roger got a rest. Diaz got a rest. Bernardo Silva got a rest. And We won the game big, so I got nothing to complain about.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I thought you guys are great. I thought you grew into the game brilliantly. From your point of view, Phil, from the other side of that, as a Newcastle fan, it had the feeling after 20 minutes that you could run riot against them, and the script flipped, and you guys just couldn't get back into the game, and it was a weird one in that respect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there was a battle down that left side where Savinho was. And by the way, boy, did he do his best impression of Riyad Mahrez in this game. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Some of the touches he had, especially when the ball's in the air and it drops down. I think Botman was trying to press him and he still managed to control it. My camera's going funny. But in terms of just what they did, and I think there was a battle between, I think that's why I think Barnes scored that initial goal, because Núñez was pushing up really, really, really high and leaving gaps in the back. And so City were taking risks. And so we decided to take risks on the other end as well. But what paid off for City, I think Cassano started dropping in on that other side and kind of using his pace to take care of things after the goal happened. And we just were not able to get that final ball off very well. So I thought Cassano was another one who did really, really well. And City just essentially took control and started like hammering down that side. Reinders as well. His run's absolutely phenomenal. His ability on the ball to take the ball whilst on the run as well is really, really, really good. And we couldn't stop them. And I think this is probably I agree, probably the best City I've seen since last year as well. So yeah, credit to them. I don't think we could have done anything to kind of turn that game around, to be honest.
No, I don't disagree. Do you know what? Joe Hart said it at the end of the game. By the way, I want to shout out Joe Hart.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's en route to becoming one of the best pundits and commentators out there. He's so unbiased. He's so down the middle. I love it. And look, he's ex-City, so you'd sometimes expect him to be biased. But he isn't. Even when he's talking Man United and teams you would expect him to be that way towards. More power to him. We need more ex-pros who are just honest and down the middle. But he said it right. It wasn't like Newcastle were god-awful. It was just City, I think, played on a level that they couldn't cope with in the game. And they were just great. And the maddest bit is for me is where has this City team been for large parts of the season? Even though you're second in the league, not a bad team. This was a different, like Luke, this was a different level of City tonight.
It was. It's been missing for quite a while, and I mean the fact that I know people will say Torres was done on Wednesday, but it's not, because Arsenal can bottle it still. Everyone can bottle it still. It's a mad season right now. Everyone's like losing games if they should be winning, drawing them out of nowhere. So until it's done in competition right now. But regarding City, I mean, I'm surprised Haaland got rested tonight, because he has 4 goals this calendar year and we're in March. That's poor for him. Like, I know we've got Madrid on Wednesday and I get it, but like, he needs goals for his form right now. He was poor on Wednesday against Forest. And Lamouche tonight showed exactly what he needs to be doing, shooting on goal. People will go at me saying about me saying this about Haaland, but I want him to such a high standard, because he's for me the best striker in the world when he's on it. But when he's not doing anything, he just stands in the box most of the time and just does nothing. And when we haven't got Haaland in the team, you saw tonight a lot more fluid, a lot more. I mean, Reinders was terrible in front of goal today, but another day, we actually shooting was on. He probably scores 2 or 3 tonight. Another day. But the fact is, like, tonight showed exactly why we're a good fluid team when we've got players moving around the pitch. Now, does that mean Haaland can't do that, this team? No, of course he can. But I just, with tonight, this is what we have to be doing every game going forward now. If you want to be in a title race, in all the cups, you have to be up for every game. And tonight showed exactly what I want from this team. A bit of a shaky start to begin with, but the rest of the game, brilliant. I thought it was exactly what I want to see from our attack. I was saying before the game that we've got to start seeing more from our attackers, because they've been quite poor recently. But today was definitely a showcase of how good we can be when we're on it. So all I'll say is now is, big up to the guys for playing well today. But Wednesday against Madrid, I get the Bernabeu again. I mean, it doesn't matter how crap Madrid are right now. They're still a team at the Bernabeu on the UCL and knockouts. And I say, we all know, I'm sure fans know as well, Madrid as well. It doesn't matter how crap they are, they're still a team that can do well in the Champions League. So
it's their cup, man.
Do our job. So but I'm happy overall. I'm happy with 3, which is good.
No, you got to. you've got to be happy that you're through, because otherwise, I mean, what's the point? And I see a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? Not digging. I
hear you.
I'm out. Yeah.
Football fans are becoming weirder and weirder and weirder, and I do blame Andrew Tate. For this whole like there's this meme somebody sent me the other day. This is it here, and it's like be a man and have high standards. Real men only care about title races, and I just sort of like, the thing is, you can imagine that's the kind of thing someone like him says, isn't it?
Oh,
like,
God,
I hear that.
Real men only celebrate goals in finals, not all season. It's the kind of thing weird thing you can imagine him saying.
Yeah.
And all the little betas going, yeah, that's right. And that's how football seems to have become. And it's just like, I talked to my brother about this. I've been watching the games with him today, and he's an Orient fan. And like, he's kind of weirded out by Premier League football fans. He grew up around Premier League football fans. And he says it's only been the last 4 or 5 years. He goes, a lot of you act really strangely. Like, you're never that happy, no matter what you're doing. He goes, I don't quite understand it. And he goes, what's all this standards bollocks? And he laughed because he's not involved in this world. He goes, it don't make any sense, because no football fan up until the last 5 years ever spoke like this. And it's just kind of come out of nowhere. Jesse, my brain went absolutely froze there. A big win, a big win for Chelsea tonight, an important win. It keeps you in the FA Cup for what looks like could be a really massive round. I mean, all the big teams seem to be going through that left in it, barring Newcastle that went out, of course. But how are you with the performance tonight? Because a lot of people, Chelsea fans online, angry, others glad to go through. How did you see it personally?
Look, the performance wasn't great, but I have to echo everything what Kwess said. 9 rotation. We rotated heavily. We have a massive game midweek here, right? Not just the rotation alone, but a lot of players, Esugo and Lavia, especially, those two guys were out injured. So in terms of match fitness, those guys weren't really on it. And you could have seen that from Lavia. We know the composure this guy has on the ball. We know the quality he has. And these players just have to get match fit. It looked more like a makeup side today. Just throwing guys. And it wasn't pretty, but we get the job done. And that's most important. Yeah, I wasn't happy about taking it to extra time, but as we discussed in the group chat, that Wrexham is a good championship team, and that is absolutely 100% true. They are. So I could only be happy for the team. Let's move now. Let's see who we get in the draw and try to actually win this trophy. I hope we actually I want us to win this cup. It's been a while since we won it. I want us to win. I want us to win this.
Been a while. I think, what has it been, about 2018, 8 years on a domestic trophy, and the FA Cup was a long time, and you've lost a few finals, and I get it. And at the end of the day, Matt, this is why I understand the thing about performances should always matter, especially in the league. But Man United nearly collapsed in the semi-final to Coventry, and then we outplayed the champions of England in the final and won the FA Cup. And there's room for criticism, but I do think some people are just going over the top. We have been sent something, by the way. Blue Viper's identity has been revealed, and I have someone has sent me a picture of the Blue Viper, who we are now calling the Blue Worm. Shall we dox him? Shall we put his true identity on the? I'm going to do it. I don't care. Here it is. This is him. The Blue Worm.
Oh my days.
Wait. Did somebody actually just went and made that?
Someone DM'd it to me. I pissed myself. Wow. The Blue Worm is here on the show, people. Someone screenshot that and make it their Avi on make it their avatar on X, please, people. Get that done.
He's gonna come for you, He's gonna come for you.
Yes, he will.
doesn't leave his bedroom, so I'm safe. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my days.
He don't leave his bedroom. What's he gonna do to me? You know what I mean? Unless he can perform osmosis, I'm absolutely safe. You know? I hear you on that. Let's go to some of these comments that have come through here, gents. Chelsea shameful and shameless at the same time. Whoa.
Hey, to be fair, some of our players were shameful.
Yeah.
They were, but shameless is crazy because it's not like we were going. Well, I can only ever speak for me. I'm sure Jesse was the same, but I wasn't going into this game going, we're going to smash them. Because I remember playing them in preseason. It might have been last year or season ago. Maybe it was even in the Club World Cup this year. I can't remember, but we played them in preseason. It was a tough game. And I remember being like, hey, it's one of those ones where it could be a potential banana skin. Do you know what I mean? So it's the FA Cup. You just got to get through. Yeah, man. Shameless is crazy, man. Damn. Yeah, that's painful. That's painful still. Uh-oh. I thought the blue worm was getting onto your camera, your tech. Calm down, don't let them get you, bro.
That just came up a second ago, which I wasn't expecting. Sam Jack says, I'm unsubbing Arsenal Terrace.
Nah, that's unfair to you, to be fair.
No, on a level.
No, because I've got onto you as well, innit? Remember, I was getting onto you as well, but to be fair, yeah, when I seen Stricto, because I met Stricto, he's calm, but when I seen his comment about City Glaze, I said, nah, that's crazy, because to be fair, you've actually held the line. I'll give you that. You've been consistent for all teams. So I'll give you that.
The thing is, it's like of course, I'm not going to be like, I won't always see things the same as everybody else does. Like the Haaland penalty the other day. It's not a penalty in my opinion, because for me, he steps into the we've all played the game. He steps into the goalkeeper's path. They're nearly always given, and it wasn't given. And you all know if Saka did that, all the same people saying that's a penalty would have gone, nah, you initiate. We all know. Oh, Kojo's here, mate. Kojo's here.
Looking like Anakin.
Hey, Sam, if you want to unsub, I have nearly 900,000 followers across all my platforms. I am grateful. I am humbled by it. If someone wants to leave, they can leave. But the one thing, my friend, I will never change who I am for a subscriber. That can be the accusation all you want, but I'll never pander to someone that says they're leaving. I bid you farewell. Good luck on your journey. And this is my main message. I'll see you on the next stream because I know you'll be back.
Oh, my days.
How are you, Kojo? How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good still, man. I'm good still. Just about here, mate. Just about here. How you doing anyway?
Mate, I'm good. But the one thing I love about Man United not playing is there's no chance we lose. It's like there's like a real happy feeling when we're not playing. Do you know what I mean? Plus, I had family around today. We went to this lovely South African shop where they sell lots of meats and foods from South Africa. We came back and cooked up the house. None of us are South African, but we just quite like it because it's different, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
They say love meat, so you're right.
I don't know what it's called. My brother bought it, but it's like a big bag. It looks like, what's that? Like Parma ham, right? It looks like Parma ham, but it's just in one big brown bag, and it just sit there. Oh, it's great. And there's just loads of great stuff. I don't know what it's all called. Some amazing steaks we cooked up today. It's been a great day. Happy time with the family. Love it.
That's what I like to hear, bro. That's what I like to hear.
Chelsea did well today.
Yeah, I watched the game still. Man, it was an interesting game. Listen, I know a lot of people probably, maybe not. I don't know if you guys, I didn't watch you guys before this, so I don't know. But obviously the team obviously had a bit of a mare at the back, innit? That's what I'm going to say. When you have Tosin at the back, you know what it is now? It's now a case now. Whenever I see Tosin, I just start getting shook. And I think it's maybe the way that we're playing, because I think we're playing against his strengths. He's not a quick defender. So any high line is just problematic, bro. Like that, and also not only that, I think the reading of the game, I'm starting to see that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if Tosin he's gone back. I feel like Tosin's gone backwards. Yeah, for me personally. Yeah, that first goal they scored, this is a veteran. That's a veteran's everyday, breakfast, man. You should be eating that up. You know what I'm saying? As soon as the ball goes in the air, you're thinking to yourself, I'm on this, bang on, I'm heading this, and it's gone. But for the ball to drop between him and Badashil, they're both looking like clowns at this point. I'm not saying they are clowns. I want to be very clear. I'm saying it's like two clowns playing. Like it's like that should never be happening apart from Sunday League, right? So I was a little bit disappointed by that, but I already knew that Chelsea were going to win this game. I can't hold you. I can't lie to you. I believed we were, because even though we were at points not controlling the game, I had a good feeling. You know, I believed in the team, and I know a lot of people. I've seen some reviews online already about how they feel like Rossinho got the lineup wrong. Can I be honest with you? We ain't got no other lineup. So what lineup are you talking about, bro? We have to rest players. Like this whole chat about Rossinho's getting wrong. It's like, blood. There is no other players. Who did you want to play? A lot of people who do reviews, I look at them. I'm not asking the question like, blood. Who did you want to replace these players? Like there is no other. This is the depth that you're looking at. You know what I'm saying to you? And then like, let's play Rossinho. Bro, for me personally, I understood that we're gonna have to play some other players in those positions. It's gonna be a much more harder slog. But one thing I don't like also doing is downplaying the opposition. First of all, this is FA Cup. In the FA Cup, my boys, anything can happen. So we could have played our best 11 and still would have been a hard game. So I felt like that was thing. And I think my last thing to say on this on the Chelsea performance, I just want to say, first of all, João Pedro, it's just looking beautiful. I can't lie to you, because I ain't gonna hold you. If you didn't score that goal, I'd have been pissed, because the pass was there. Okay, much as I don't like Garnacho all the time, the pass was there. But I think João Pedro just kind of shown that he's moving through the stages now. I'm starting to see him taking on responsibility and
he's a cut above.
You know, you can see that when he came on, our whole thing changed. And my one critique about Chelsea, and it's been a critique I've had for the last few weeks, is that I need them to stop playing the ball sideways and start playing the ball forward. The one thing that's not scary about Chelsea that every other team has clocked now is that these guys will get to the edge of the box and they do 1-2-1-2 sideways. When has 1-2-1-2 been sideways? 1-2 is sideways forward. 1-2s are not sideways. And that's what's making Chelsea not very boring and very predictable. That even if you're Wrexham, you're like, come on then, because you're not going to play a ball beyond our defenders, and there's no strikers running beyond the defender in that space. So
that's where Neto as well let us down massively, because obviously Rossinho did the experiment playing him in the 10 against Wolves, and I think he got gas. You know what they say? Don't get gas off that YouTube stuff. When I see them play the YouTube football teams, that's what I hear them say. That's how I feel. He got gassed off the Wolves result, and he lost his whole mind, because at the end of the day, like what you're saying, the thing with the going sideways is obviously what you're trying to do is you're always trying to disjoint a team. So if you know a team like Wrexham or whoever, if you know they're going to sit deep, you have to move it across to get them to shift so that the gaps open up. The issue, like you're saying, is there wasn't somebody who was proficient enough on the ball to progress it forward, even when the opportunities presented themselves. Because Garnacho was making runs, Delap was trying to make runs, but you're looking at a midfield where you got Lavia, who really and truthfully, he's a ball keeper. Santos is a ball winner, and you've got Pedro Neto trying to be the ball progressor. In what world? Even when he's on his own one-on-one late in the game against defenders whose legs had 80 minutes in the tank, he still couldn't do the right choices. So for me, that's when I could see, okay, Rossinho was like, all right, this is a big problem. I have to bring in JP. And then I think it almost made João Pedro look 10 times better, because he was doing everything simply, which is odd, because when they did the same experiment with him under Maresca, it wasn't working. So I just think the difference was it's the speed of play too. Sometimes you just need the speed of play.
I agree. And I think what you said, Kojo, is right. It's everyone. It's when you admit or you confirm, or it's kind of consensus that the squad of any club needs to improve. You can't improve it now. It can't be done. You've got what you've got. Rotation has to happen. Who else are you really going to play? You can't play your full strength team midweek against Villa today, then against PSG, then in the league again, then against PSG again. You are not good. You are going to injure people. And then what will happen is, why didn't you rotate? Why didn't you use the bench? You've got to use your heads there. Before I do a couple more super chats, because I'm running out a little bit of time, Phil, I wanted to ask you a little bit, just one more question about Newcastle, because there's a lot of Newcastle fans online that are going in on Eddie Howe, blaming him, want him gone, want him sacked. Where do you personally stand on that?
Yeah, no, I think he should stay. I don't see what the conversations are in terms of wanting him sacked. I don't know what the expectations, why they want to sack Eddie Howe. we've had a mixed season, but we've also had successes in terms of this is the furthest we've got in terms of Champions League. We've reached the semi-final of the League Cup. We went out in the 5th round of the FA Cup, but every time we've gone out of competitions, it's to elite teams. It's not like we're losing to, your championship teams or anything like that. That's not what's happening. We've suffered a little bit in the league, but that tends to happen when you lose one of the top 2-3 strikers in the world. I'm pretty confident that we'll pick things up again. I think in terms of the setup and especially the underlying metrics going forward for Newcastle, we have, in terms of how Eddie Howe sets us up, we're there to evolve and kind of be an elite team. We just don't have the players yet to kind of get us to deliver what we need to in terms of how Eddie Howe sets us up. But yeah, I'm not definitely not Eddie Howe out. You were saying earlier about YouTube stuff and people hyping things up. I think that happens with Eddie Howe. I think that happens with Newcastle fans. It's a bit for me, looking at Newcastle fans that do that. I feel like because we're on the back of all this YouTube stuff now, obviously your top 6 sides have been doing it for a while. I feel like some people are more copying the trends, and so it's more evident for me to see it. It's like, oh, you're just trying to be like this person from Arsenal content, or that person from Chelsea content, or that person from Man United content, and they're lacking the originality. I think they're missing the trick of Newcastle because we're so unique in terms of how the takeovers happened, where we came from, nearly beating relegation, and everything else like that. There's a whole story in that. Why would you want to just copy what everybody else is doing? I just don't get it.
Do you know what's so right about it? It's one, they use the same words and language because they think it's like, oh, I'm going to trick the algorithm.
Yeah.
With the algorithm is people. I'm going to trick people into listening. But at the same time, imagine being a Newcastle fan where 5 to 6 years ago you were on the brink of relegation. New owners come in. You've won your first trophy in 60, 70 years. You're back in Champions Leagues. You're playing better football. Yeah, you're not having a great season this year. Imagine talking like a fan of a club that, say, for 20 years has spent billions, not been in a title race, not won any real trophies, and he's dwindling. Imagine acting like Spurs fans are acting like now, where they're on the brink of being relegated. That's where I look at it sometimes. And people always respond with, I've got high standards. Sometimes I look at it and think, I don't think it's about having high standards. I think it's about saying things. And it's when they repeat the same language. You sound like a guy ranting over there on that channel, and it's almost like the identical points, but about your football club. I am getting to a point now where, and I've been calling the mainstream media out for this, I look at it and go, there's no originality. It feels like you're just reading a script. It doesn't feel real, because from where you were to where you are now, I don't think I got why Arsenal fans in the peak of AFTV felt the way they did. It was they were in league title races, they were winning leagues, Champions League finalists. They knocked down their stadium to build a new one and got progressively worse over a 15-year period, and they'd had enough because of what they were. I always say this when it comes to the way people rant now. Nobody used to rant like this when we were challenging for league titles and you have a year where you weren't as good. You was like, oh, I'm annoyed, but next year I know we'll be back again. For whatever reason now, people wait for the smallest thing to go off and rant in the identical way to the Troopses and the DTs and the Claws did when it was organic and real. Does that make sense? Arsenal fans do it still. Some do it. They've lost 3 games all season. They drop points and they get the banners out. It's like, what the fuck? It feels so performative now and fake. It really does. I can't lie.
I think the reason why Arsenal fans are reacting like that, even if they just lose 3 games all season, they just haven't won the league in so long. And they probably, for the last 6 seasons, they've seen just by losing 3 games, City could capitalize off of that. So they will get on their team back for that.
No, bro, there's a difference between you. I think you can tell when there's a bit of PTSD in there. You'll get like Rory Talks Football is a great example where oh my God, we're going to get caught. It's over. But then I saw him tweet the next day, went, right, I've calmed down now. The emotion's gone. Back behind the boys. Come on, we can do it. If you maintain that anger after the game, 5 days later as a 30, 40, 50-year-old man, now when you're actually in a title race, not when you're sitting 8th in the league, right? I look at it and go, that don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's not normal to behave in that way. It's too far. This here says, I don't blame Rafinha for this. We have PSG next that we need our first team for. The fact that our rotational side can barely beat a championship side is alarming. But what's new about Blue Coast squad building? I think that's absolutely fair. These expectations are due to how dominant City have been for the last 8 years. I understand it, why people have high standards and why they want their club to behave in a certain way. But you've also got to look at the context. Do you have City's money? Do you have can you spend what they spend on wages? And do you have Pep? Pep at his best. If you don't have those three things, setting what City have done as your standard and expectations is mental. Yeah. Imagine your own life. Imagine I'm going to become an NBA basketball player. That's my expectations and standards. You're 5'2", bruv. Like straight away, it's not happening. You've got to be realistic. You've got to be realistic. And I think, you know what I mean? If my dog tells me he wants to climb trees, I'm going to say, Rocky, you're an idiot. You're a dog. You ain't a cat. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just think there's that. Do you get where I'm coming from, boys? I just I get, you've got
it's valid.
Got to have realistic expectations in like, for instance, right? If somebody is highly dyslexic, not very academic, and they're not very physically good at things, and they're a bit shaky, they're a bit of a shaky person, I would probably say don't think about being a surgeon. Like, that's maybe too high. Like, and that's not me being horrible, but I think there are certain things you got to be honest, right? Not maybe when they're 5 years old, but you got to be honest. Are you really going to be a surgeon, or should you put some effort into something you're probably going to be good at and can be content and happy with? Like, we do this in life. I want to be like City. How much money do you make a year? 400 million a year. They make 800. Okay. Could you attract Pep Guardiola? Nah. Then how could you ever do what they've done?
Yeah,
that makes sense. I just get again. Oh, I've got standards. Standards mean nothing. For me, the standards mean nothing if you don't have the facilities for that big man. it's true. You can all have, my standards are I'm going to make an album as good as Stevie Wonder, Songs to the Key of Life. I can't play instruments or sing or write music, but that's my expectation. That's what I hear from. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating slightly with that because these are professional football clubs. But at the end of the day, but even for imagine Peter Andre thinking he can make an album like Michael Jackson. It's just silly. Do you know what I mean? Imagine Stacey Solomon. She's a good singer. We all remember her. Imagine her thinking, I'm going to pull off on Adele. It's not happening. Like, there's certain things. Like, don't say don't have ambition, but know what you are, where you are, and what's you're capable of. It will make you as a fan, because by the way, you don't even control it. It will make you enjoy the games more. And I think we're killing the game because we're setting weird expectations. But that's just me. Oh look, by the way, Sam's still here. Way!
I saw that.
Also, somebody sent me in a picture of Sam. Everyone, before the end of the show.
Oh my days. They're gonna get on. No, that's mad.
Sam's been sent in. I've been assured this is AI generated, so it's not really what he looks like. It's not a real person, but I can imagine it's somewhere close. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Terry, they're gonna get on to you, man.
Definitely shirtless, eating ice cream with a dirty spoon. Do you know what I'm saying?
They're gonna fry you, bro.
Listen, I want to thank you boys all for coming on. I want to thank our viewers tonight. This is going to redirect you to MHF, so again, support my brothers over there. We're back tomorrow. I'm only going to do a little bit. I'm actually going to have quite a bit of a Sunday off tomorrow, I think, and spend it with the family. The little one's got football in the morning. We've got to be doing that. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we're going to see you all again very, very soon. Peace.